On Facebook this morning, as I was thinking about this reflection and the reflection I offered at noon at the Community Good Friday service at Hope Reformed, I posted this quote from one of my favorite writers and theologians, Frederick Buechner. God so loved the world, John writes, that he gave his only Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have eternal life. That is to say that God so loved the world that he gave his only Son, even to this obscene horror, so loved the world that in some ultimately indescribable way and at some ultimately immeasurable cost, he gave the world himself. Out of this terrible death, John says, came eternal life, not just in the sense of resurrection to life after death, but in the sense of life so precious even this side of death, that to live it is to stand with one foot already in eternity. To participate in the sacrificial life and death of Jesus is to live already in his kingdom. This is the essence of the Christian message, the heart of the good news, and it is why the cross has become the chief Christian symbol. A cross, of all things, a guillotine, a gallows, but the cross, at the same time, is the crossroads of eternity and time, as the place where such a mighty heart was broken that the healing power of God and the divine self could flow through it into a sick and broken world. We come to Good Friday every year, and we hear this same passion reading from the Gospel of John, and every single year I come to this day with the same thought: what do I say? So many people think that Good Friday is the saddest day in the Christian calendar, and they won't come to worship because they fear they'll leave feeling incredibly sad and not happy. But I think that so many people won't come to worship this day because Good Friday asks us again to be honest about ourselves. Yes, this is the story of Jesus, but it's also our story. Yes, it's the death of Jesus and the death of a man who is trying to be God in the flesh and love a world that doesn't know what to do with love. And I think the same is still true today. Sometimes we don't know what to do with love. Yes, we know what to do with romantic love, but we don't know what to do with the self-sacrificing, stand above all the mess, crap, and violence that we want to sling someone else's way because we don't understand them. We don't know what to do with a love or a person or Jesus who takes the form of a slave and washes our feet. We don't know what to do with the best thing ever that stands right in front of us, begging us in some ways to see that God has flesh, blood, bones, and bears a light in the midst of a darkened world, but such that the darkness does not overcome it. And so when we don't know what to do with it, we try and define it. We try and capture it in a box so that it fits into what we think it should. We give it names. We even do what I'm doing now, and we call it an it. We dehumanize Jesus. We fail to see that something so good can be for us, that someone so loving like God can slip into skin and move into our neighborhood. When labels fail, when our eyes just see dark, when our heightened sense of waiting for the other shoe to drop because this is too good sinks in, we betray Jesus. We lead an entire Roman cohort of 480 soldiers with the chief priests and the Pharisees who come to the garden with weapons and lanterns and torches to seize this one man, Jesus. And they do. They arrest him and they take him for questioning. They take him for his trial. They take him to the religious authorities who question him about his teachings, thinking that he was trying to hide something from them. But Jesus spoke openly in the public, and when they could pin no wrong on him, they sent him for trial number 2 with Roman Governor Pilate. Pilate tries to place an identity on Jesus, tries to put him in the same box that other people do, and when Jesus doesn't claim to be a king, but rather a truth teller, things get lost when yet another person who is supposed to be in charge and in the know can't figure out the truth, even when it's right in front of them. Then we go to Gabbatha, to the stone pavement where Pilate tries to release Jesus, but the shouts of the chief priests prevail, and their voices are heard loud and clear. "We have no king but the emperor, crucify him!" When all is said and done, these religious leaders who probably mean well and think they're doing the best job that they could in upholding the religious law end up denouncing what they're supposed to be true to in the process. And so maybe Bishop Satterlee is right after all. He said on Sunday more than once that the system is not sustainable. The system is broken. And so let's face it, this trial is not just Jesus' trial, but it's a trial of the whole entire world. It's not just about the Romans or about the Judeans or about the religious people. It's about them, yes, but it's about us too. And at our best tonight, we recognize that we fail. We fail when we don't see Jesus or God in the flesh right in front of us, and we fail when we join Peter by the fire as he shoves himself into the outer darkness of night, saying, "I am not one of Jesus' disciples." For Peter, and at our worst, for us, we deny a relationship with Jesus and our identity as beloved children of God, and we deny following Jesus. Tonight, in the shadow of the cross, we're faced with the reality of our lives. Will we embrace this identity as disciples of Jesus and follow him home? Or, with the others, will we raise our voices with the frenzy of the crowd and shout, "Crucify him"? Maybe, just maybe, it might be a little of both. Amen.